This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. Yes, we are live next 3 hours. Downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Big program lined up today. Paul Charchian on in 30 minutes to go over what he liked in the game yesterday and what he watched in the Super Bowl. Arash Markazi from Los Angeles as Luka Doncic makes his debut tonight for the Lakers. And professional sports bettor Aaron Renning on tonight's big NBA card. A little bit later on in the program, we will recap all the big props that came in 15 minutes. To me, there's like an all-time prop story that you can tell, no joke, for the rest of your life if you bet it. A prop that we talked about on this show yesterday and last week. But, Paulie, I guess that was a football game yesterday. So in terms of a gambling standpoint, today's newsletter from Bill 80, and based on what Las Vegas bookmakers were telling Matt Humans and Jonathan Von Tobel on the postgame show last night, it was a small win here in Las Vegas, nothing to really write home about. And you compare that to, I think, what other national books were saying. Some of them were basically telling the public that it was one of the best days they've ever had. So why the difference between the results? And bettors, I think, did pretty well here in Nevada overall compared to what they did nationally at popular sports books. To me, it comes down to same-game parlays. Because I know one report said that a book had 36% of their same-game parlays. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard secondhand. 36% of their same-game parlays tied into a Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. He doesn't score. That's a hell of a day. Right there. Yep. You win everything pretty much at that point.
And Thomas Gable from Borgata told us yesterday on the pregame that there wasn't one bet on the no. So what happened? And then Circa offered Barkley and Kelsey no touchdown, plus 325. It's as you closed the show yesterday, it stings and sucks when the final game is a blowout.
Oh, yes.
And that thing was over in the second quarter, late second quarter. It was glorious to watch the Chiefs get their faces kicked in. There was a call that actually went against them, which was rare. But to just see that domination up front, and they'd never had the blitz, and just pressure. I was stunned. To look at the first half, Kansas City had 5 punts, 2 interceptions, and only 23 yards. And all week, we did Steve Makinen and Benjamin Solak about let's try to predict and guess the box score, right? What if I tell you before the game, Barkley has 57 yards, the Eagles are 3 of 12 on third down, they have an interception in the red zone, they don't convert a fourth down. You'd say Chiefs for all I can get. Chiefs all you can eat, right?
Well, but also tell me the box score at halftime.
Yeah, that's true. That's another one. Yeah.
Because, I mean, the way that they responded after, and we were on the air for the A.J. Brown, and we did not have the volume on, but Tom Brady evidently not happy. I didn't go back and listen, but you did.
That's right, yeah.
Tom Brady not happy with the pass interference, and that was my first reaction.
I'm sorry. Prayer also, you can't make that call. It's a Super Bowl. Yep. There needs to be more, and Brady was as much as he can get. That's Brady outraged.
So they're like driving down to score. That goes against them. And then they have to, punt the ball over to the Chiefs. And the way that their defense responded on that drive in the first half, again, 4 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, pick 6, 3 and out, interception, 3 and out. That was the Chiefs' first half drive results. So the story of the game, Mahomes obviously was not good in the game. But the story of the game was the pure and utter domination from the front four alone against that Kansas City offensive line. Mm-hmm. Killed them. Yep. Absolutely killed them. I mean, next-gen stats, at one point, Eagles' pressure rate. This is we'll take you through the numbers as the game was progressing. This was, I think, late second quarter. The pressure rate was at 52.4% with a 0% blitz rate. Then the Eagles had a 47% pressure rate in the first half when it was all said and done, the first 30 minutes, again, without blitzing a single time in the game. And Seth Walder had a tweet after the game was over with from ESPN Research that the Eagles blitzed Mahomes, again, full game. On 0 was 42 dropbacks. Mahomes is the 6th quarterback in Super Bowl history to not be blitzed a single time. All 6 quarterbacks lost. It's way easier said than done, but when you can get a front four to be I don't care who the quarterback is, When a front four can be in his face all game long, they have no chance.
Yep.
Game's over with.
Yep. Reminiscent of the Tampa Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I also will say that's the worst game he's ever played. I mean, he could, between the interceptions, the fumble, and also just missed a lot of throws. Had Kelsey open, missed him. I think it was Brown open for a first down, missed him. Pick six, just atrocious. Horrible job by Mahomes, and good for Fangio. You know, all that 0-8 talk. Fangio with the game of his life, and he was excellent. We can rip an organization later in the show as well. So, but yeah, this was interesting too. It was 2 years ago. It was after the game. There were several Eagle players saying maybe that happens 2 years ago. A lot of players on that team were confident that was going to happen 2 years ago, but because of the field, they couldn't get the pass rush. And what happened? Yeah. So who knows? But that was just. The scoreboard is completely misleading.
Oh, 40-22.
I mean, it's 34 rip.
Yeah.
Kansas City can't even get a first down. And Andy Reid calling timeouts down 40-14 with 2 minutes left. And the, by the way, touchdown. So that was a completely misleading score. And if they wanted to, they could have won by 50.
That's 37-6 in the fourth quarter with about 9.5 minutes to play. It's 40-6. 40-6 under 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, there you go.
And the final score was 40-22. Never in the game. Never had a chance. That was just basically an all-time performance from top to bottom by the Eagles. Man, that front four, it's reminiscent of the 2008 Super Bowl.
That too.
Because, that was the Patriots and the Giants, but the front four for the Giants, so good. Getting to Brady the entire game, that 18-0 team. Brady said over the weekend during, on the Fox broadcast that, still eats at him. He's not over it. I don't blame him. Good for him. I love the competitiveness like that. And they had a chance to set history and go 19-0.
That was good. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He was miserable, and I would understand that.
But the Buccaneers Super Bowl a couple years ago, right? Same exact thing, basically, where the offensive line had several issues and injuries for the Chiefs, and they were favorites in that game. Mahomes was running for his life pretty much the entire time. I'll go a couple more here. We brought this up in recent weeks. It wasn't the Super Bowl, but it was an AFC title game, Patriots at Denver, when Denver had that all-time defense, and they hit Brady during the game like 18, 20 times. And as you said, the Broncos never converted a third down in the second half. They won. They did nothing.
Yep.
But they were incredible on defense, and Brady had no time to breathe. And that's how you do it. That's the perfect recipe. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is find the perfect four guys that you can have up front that will get pressure all the game long, and everybody can just drop back.
Yep. Feel good for Sirianni. He said after the game, the loss to Tampa Bay in the playoffs is the reason they're able to get to where they were at and win this. 18-3 since the Tampa Bay loss. 6 playoff wins. Remember, they started 10-1.
Yep.
And then it's like you lost the locker room. It's a disaster. Brown hurts the relationship. That helped thing. And now he's going to get a big contract. So good for him. And obviously we missed one. I didn't see that coming. But 2 things. We can now break down a football game from now on normal, where we don't have to do this. Eagles are the better team. I love the Eagles. But Mahomes and Reid in a big game and all that business, too. Well, that goes out the window now.
No, that went out the window before this game for me.
Okay.
I said it several times. I'm not bet. And again, I had a piece of this Eagles future ticket, right? Wasn't going to hedge. I thought about it when they were catching 22.5 in the game. I didn't want to give any money away. To me, this was, I could not, the Mahomes magic and getting away with stuff, that I could not factor that in. I could not bet the team based on that. I'm looking at this Eagles team that had the edge pretty much everywhere across the board. And one of the edges, by the way, for the Chiefs was Butker. How'd that play out yesterday? Mm-hmm. So, and Jake
they got out-coached, too.
Yeah.
Moore and Fangio out-coached. Why did you abandon the run? What? You're just going to throw every down?
Yeah.
It's still 10-0 in the second quarter.
Right.
You didn't even bother to run the ball.
No, they never had.
The other one, too, maybe, it's a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. All the Eagles said this pissed them off with this reaching out to Pat Riley and coming to an agreement. So they had to pay Riley to use the three-peat if they won. And the profanity-laced tirades, too, from several players after the game. Take that bleep, throw it in the trash. We use that as fuel. They're talking about that's much like the Patriots were doing when they were thinking of go undefeated against the Giants and trademarking this and getting ready. And they just send the T-shirts off to Mexico or whatever it was. Sure. But there were several Eagle players who said that bothered them and fired them up. That they're going to talk about reach out to Pat Riley and trademark three-peat.
This is not revisionist history because, again, these words came out of my mouth in the 2 weeks leading into the game. I would have rather had Baltimore or Buffalo in the game.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they do what they do almost every single year, and to go to Arrowhead and win in the playoffs is virtually impossible. And, you can blame Baltimore all you want for losing at Buffalo. And, I don't know. Is the result any different? Like, did the Bills beat the Eagles yesterday? I'm going to guess probably not.
Yeah. Well, as we said, though, this is the best A game when they
Sure.
were, right? Now, it was weird against Green Bay. They were awful against the Packers. Hurts was rusty. They benefited from 4 turnovers. That should have been an easy win in a blowout. But this team, other than the kicker, who was great yesterday, I mean, you have to love this Eagles team and how they power rated, and just to go to Cincinnati and bury them, to do what they did here, to go to Baltimore and be down 9 and win the game. When Hurts plays like that, when the offense looks like that, to win a game, to blow them out like that, 40-6, as you said, and Barkley does nothing, incredible.
Well, also, tip of the cap to Howie Roseman, the man in charge of the personnel in Philadelphia. You can trust nobody in the league more than him at winning the offseason, right? Last year, somehow in the draft, Jalen Carter slides to them, and they moved up to get the guy. He's like sitting there at number 9 overall. Nobody's taking him. He's dropping for some stupid reason, right? And the guy's a complete stud. This year in the offseason, they drafted DeJean and Mitchell. Phenomenal draft.
Yep.
They get Barkley. I mean, it's like every single year that guy is nails at helping put this team together.
Yep, well said.
Drafting Devontae Smith, trading for A.J. Brown. It's like everything he does is awesome.
Mm-hmm. First downs late in the first half. 13-1.
Oh.
Yards, 177-14. Kansas City had 14 yards on 16 plays.
Wild. We talked about a prop on this show that ended up cashing at a massive number, no hyperbole. You could talk about this for as long as you live if you bet it. We'll tell you what it was next here on VSiN.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Join us on a numbers game where Gil Alexander takes you on an informative and entertaining ride, focusing on the numbers that fuel today's bettors.
The Pittsburgh defense is amazing. I'm not doubting that. You think it's impressive, but you don't get how impressive it is. Okay, Mr. Football, we get it. In the end, there's Mahomes, just waiting, laughing at your little rankings.
He sets the table as the money comes in each day, helping you become a sharper bettor. Catch a numbers game weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the sports betting network.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Getting messages on X about the game yesterday. Mike says, hold on a second here. Carter dropped in the draft for a reason. Still elite, but not like it was a talent thing. No, I remember saying this at the time. He was dropping, and the problem with that is a team was going to draft him anyway. So it's like he wasn't going to go undrafted because of his problems off the field. So if that's the case, why drop to 9 if he's still the best player in the draft or one of them? There was going to be a team to take him, so there's no reason for him to slide. Right. It was stupid. And they recognized it, and they said, we're going to trade up and get this guy. Sorry.
No, it's like Randy Moss.
Yeah.
That never should have happened either.
Yep.
When did you think it was over?
Middle to late second quarter.
Yeah, because I still thought the Eagles were missing opportunities.
Well, they were.
It was still 10-0. That should have been a comfortable lead. It was 10-0.
Yeah.
But then once the pick six happened, and then you're like, okay, now it's you're looking at 24-0 halftime score, and then Kansas City opens up 6.5 in the second half, and they can't cover that either.
How about the Eagles' team total in the second half was 6.5? I should have my head examined.
Ooh.
Watching the game here at Cirque with Mike Palm, he saw the number immediately, and he goes, that's a complete joke. And, of course, it went over. Way too low. Yep. They weren't going to score. Okay, all right.
Also aggressive, the touchdown to Smith. I loved it. And the team total gets there in the first half.
Yeah.
The Hurts to have a 1-yard touchdown run gets there, and everything you talked about, that Bet Rivers number, over 1.5 touchdowns, and rushing and passing. So what he was able to do, and that was... It still had even though it was a blowout and over, I still thought because of the Brady thing, 28-3 Atlanta, it is Mahomes. Yeah, I had to take a little 10-1, had to take some 8-1 in play. But I still thought, okay, once we got to the third quarter, it's like these guys can't get a first down. School is out.
Yep. So here's the prop that we talked about yesterday on the show, and we brought it up last week as well. It was here at Circa, and I think maybe a couple of other spots had it as well. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but definitely here at Circa. And the prop was, will a quarterback finish with negative yards rushing? And we thought about it. We're like, okay, what's the angle here on this? It could be like a Mahomes situation again, like it was a couple years ago against the 49ers. And he has like 16 yards rushing. And they're leading the game. And they have the ball. And he just runs back like 7 yards and takes 3 knees. And oops, look at that. He just lost 22 yards. And now he has -6 for the game. Right? That's an angle. But for that game to turn into a blowout on Philly's side, and then they yanked the eventual MVP in Jalen Hurts. They put in Kenny Pickett, and he comes in, and he is the guy who has to take the knees, and he never had a rush before that, and he ends up with negative yards rushing. To me, I'm sorry. I'm not overreacting to this. If I bet that, and I'm so pissed at myself for not doing it, because we brought it up on the air and talked about it twice at least.
I know.
I'd be telling that story 10, 15, 20 years down the road. I'm not joking.
Yep. I know.
That's as good as it gets.
I'm sick. It was my worst Super Bowl ever. And that 50-1 to cash, and Pickett was 7-1 to take a snap.
Yeah.
Wentz should have been in the game too.
Sure.
That's another one. And everyone who picked, so many people we talked to that liked the Eagles said blowout. Great job, Richie, our guy Richie, Josh McDaniels, who we had dinner with, several members of the Patriots organization, Dr. Gebhardt, Al Lasso, our guest coming up, Eagles burial, they said, and they nailed it. But I couldn't get there between then and then. You're right, should have the head examined. But how that happened and how it played out,
come on,
So again, even it's a blowout and 40-22, so many things happen. How about if he had Dotson first touchdown? I mean, that's
I did.
Yeah, that's 85-1.
I had him 66, 85, and 90-1 to score the first touchdown, and 17-1 anytime.
Oh!
I mean, it's an amazing. It's one of my best Super Bowls of all time. Maybe the best if that knee's not down.
Yeah. And you think you have it, too.
I thought live,
They're
for sure.
Celebrating replay.
Yes.
And here comes Hurts from the 1-yard line, of course.
Yeah, but I had that,
right?
so that made my feelings. I felt a little bit better right away because I did bet that.
Yep.
Had that on the VSiN picks page. I had not only Hurts, but I had him plus 170 for exactly a 1-yard touchdown.
Yep.
So
that's not the only one, though, Mitch. I mean, that's a great point. But there's a lot of these where you can be bragging for years. Like the Eagles to be up 21-plus points in the first half. That was that Taylor Swift prop down the street. That hit 55-1. I think it was called Karma or something. But that hit.
Well, hold on.
Well, the Eagles will be up by 21 or more at halftime. It's like 50-1.
No, was it that high?
Yeah, a couple places had it. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
They offered it at the Westgate. They had it at Will Hill too. But so many of these came in. The one guy who had It didn't get there, obviously, but 40-6, you never know. But will they win by 46 points or more? The record, that was a huge ticket.
That was 550 to 1, I think.
Yep. Exact score was 500 to 1. How about if you nailed the Triple Crown? Now, it was 300 to 1 if it was Hurts-worthy Hurts.
Right.
But with the garbage late, it was Mahomes-worthy Hurts.
Right. So it went from 300 to 1 to what?
I think it was 175, something like that. Depends where you bet it. But most places had that available. So I'll again check the number. But I saw 75 and 100. But Hurts was just 14 to 1 himself to have the most rushing yards in the game.
I am pleading with books to make the Triple Crown a more regular event for big football games. You don't have to put it up. I'm not asking for like every regular season game. Maybe how about the opening game next year for opening Thursday? Who's going to lead the game? Whoever Philadelphia plays, who's going to lead the game in rushing, receiving, and passing yards? Right? It's a three-player parlay basically, but you have to nail it, and you're going to get huge odds. Primetime games, Monday night games, whatever. That'd be great. Now, how about this one again with Pickett coming in and he takes the knees to cash that if anybody had it. Mm-hmm. Also, that's. Will the Eagles convert a fourth down?
Oh, God.
That opened up at some spots minus 1,000. That's like, or maybe even a little bit more. Von Tobel was on the air saying it's way too high. He bet plus 550 on the no. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so they go for it the first time. They actually got it. It was called back, so that doesn't count. Then, after the blowout is happening, they yank Hurts. Pickett comes in. Eventually, they go for it on 4th and 6, and he passes. To then put that prop over 2.5 quarter people that throw a pass in the game at plus 170.
Yep.
But if they convert it, that's how you lose. That's how you would have lost that bet.
Yep. Philly, no fourth down, plus 550. As you mentioned, it was higher. There wasn't a fourth down conversion in the game. Kansas City goes for it in their own territory. That prop should have cashed.
Yeah.
That doesn't get there either, how all that played out. Absolutely. No fourth down. Philly, nothing, obviously. And it's right there for Kansas City as well. But you did get the 2-point stuff. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. There was Eagles first half between 18 to 24 points, which was 55 to 1. And then the Karma bet was like 40, 45 to 1.
Okay.
At the Westgate, yeah.
Mahomes 2 INTs was 6 to 1, maybe even a little bit higher. This was a good one. Again, when we talked about this on the show yesterday, how would they contain Barkley? I said, like 20 plus carries, like 81 yards. Well, they were much better than that. And clearly that was their plan of attack. They said Barkley's not going to beat us. They were awesome against the guy. But will Barkley, this was a yes-no market at Circa, will he have 70-plus rushing yards? The no on that was plus 440. And that was never really even in danger. And tip of the cap to the guys who were betting the under 25.5 longest rush. What was his longest rush for the game? He could never get free.
Right.
Couldn't break anything.
Yep. Couple of the losers, go back to what you said. Thomas Gable told us this. Well, someone went up to the Borgata and bet $70,000 to win $10,000 on fourth down.
Oh.
And then somebody bet 20. This is from Julian Edlow, DraftKings. Someone bet 2,200 to win 100. Butker makes an extra point.
Free money does not exist. That's a rough one to swallow.
I know.
You're thinking you're just gonna
take the $100 here, but
put that one in the account, scoop it, boom.
No. Get the 3 touchdowns, but they go for 2 every time. And and that was a killer. Because you get there. Elliott, you're living a dream here. Elliott makes 4. I can't get anything from Kansas City.
How about this?
Oh man, I had it the other way. I had Butker making 4.
Because we talked about this again on the show yesterday. Butker alt field goals, but I hated the prices before kickoff, so I didn't bet them.
Yeah.
So I bet over 3.5 field goals for the game when we were live on the air yesterday. And Elliott got there on his own. What do you think that paid? Elliott 4+ field goals.
Yeah. I saw 8. Could have been higher, though.
I think you would have found higher than that somewhere, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was nails. I give him a ton of credit.
Right down the middle.
On every one. Boom. And the penalties. I think he had to do it. Yep. Made like 9 kicks when it's all said and done. Yep. And then how about, was it Ariza with all the punts? The yardage on the punts?
Sure.
What he had?
Dominated all the punting props.
The 3-and-out prop goes over. I mean, the Chiefs kept going 3-and-out all the time, too. So that got there no problem. Sports betting never slows down, and neither should you. Daytona 500 this weekend, NBA, NHL in full swing. PGA Tour underway, and we're getting close to MLB and the madness. Start betting smarter with a VSiN Pro subscription. As little as $9.99, you get a daily email with all the plays from every host and guest and the analysts and the stats. Don't place your bets unprepared. Get full access today. $9.99, VSiN.com/subscribe.
It was one hell of an ass-kicking yesterday. That was something else. Then that's happened now twice to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I hate you. I can't believe you didn't take, with your future ticket, you didn't say try to take 10 or 7-1 in play. You just said, that's it, that's over.
It, yep.
It's still Mahomes.
I didn't care.
Wow.
That's
onions.
They were choking him yesterday.
Huh? Still, I know. But the 10-1 sitting you right in the face.
It's like cutting off the mailman at the choke point in Seinfeld.
Man.
Oh, they were a dead team walking, man. Because I thought the game was over with again in the late second quarter, probably. But you're right. The Eagles, they had a chance to be up even much more than what they were. So some folks love the Eagles. Money line, out numbers, 6.5, 10.5, 13.5. Sound logic existed going into the game. You'll hear why coming up next.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We are doing the aftermath of Super Bowl 59. Yes, we're live in downtown Las Vegas from Circa Resort and Casino. Again, the Eagles 40, Chiefs 22. Absolute massacre yesterday. Paulie, as you said first segment, that score is absolutely misleading. It was much worse than that. I mean, that thing is 37-6, 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. It's 40-6 with under 5 minutes to play in the game. And so some people love the Eagles going into the game. We're talking money line. We're talking minus 6.5, 10.5, 13.5, all the else basically. We talked to one of them last Thursday. Our buddy Paul Charchian, who came on every single week throughout the football season, came on the show, gave advice for his best prop bets, but also had this to say about the Eagles.
I got Eagles in a one-sided affair. Were I able to bet in Minnesota, I'd be betting money line, and then I would be laddering all the way to basically max, minus 13.5 points for Philly. I think the roster differential is massive. I think the offensive and defensive line mismatches are absurd, a little bit like the Tampa loss that the Chiefs took. This is a really, really good Philly team in every area. Pass defense, run offense, pass offense. That's what makes this Philly team so hard to scheme against. They do everything well. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, they're a pretty good run defense. They're a pretty good pass defense. They are a bad running team, and they are a middling passing team. There are so many advantages outside of coaching, quarterback, and kicker for the Eagles that I think the Eagles have got some blowout to them here.
Damn. Now that is strong. Wow, was that good. And we welcome in the man who said that last Thursday, Paul Charchian, here on the Progressive Guest Line. That must have felt pretty good to listen to again, huh?
Well, honestly, yes. I don't get to do a lot of victory laps. We'll take that one. I don't know. This is one of the few times where being fantasy guy and analyzing all the individual matchups, the player-by-player matchups deep on one game, I'm like, I've got 5 or 6 matchups, individual matchups I love on the Eagles. I don't have any that I like on the Chiefs. And so this was a case where I think being fantasy guy really did pay off pretty well. My personal MVP, Howie Roseman, to be number one. I mean, look at what he's built. He has 10 bona fide superstars at under the age of 26 on that roster. My MVP 2 is Vic Fangio for this game, who had an amazing defensive scheme. And MVP 3, Matt Nagy, who got obliterated by Fangio at the outset and had no response. I'd love to give Matt Nagy MVP rights on this game, too.
Yep. Well said. How about your call on Smith? As he had a big game, and I didn't see this market, but a couple of our listeners took a bad beat. They bet Smith longest touchdown, and then the crap late with Worthy beat.
Oh, yes. Brutal, right? Yeah, they had the long touchdown to Smith, and then, obviously the backups for the Eagles ultimately gave up that long touchdown to Xavier Worthy at the end. That's a rough beat. And the other part of the Devonta Smith analysis that was a little tough, the over was 4.5 receptions. He had 2 right away, and then he got to 4 early in the second. They just didn't have to throw again.
Yeah.
And so while he had plenty of yards, and you could ladder up the yards all the way up to this, I think 69 that he finished at, one short of the 70 point that would have been really nice to have. But, the people that bet the reception over didn't quite get paid there, even though he had a very impactful game.
Right. When did you think it was over?
10-0. At 10-0, I'm like, this is going exactly wrong for the Chiefs. Everything that couldn't happen is happening here. They can't run at all, and you knew they were going to abandon the run early in this game for the reasons we outlined last Thursday, with all the trouble that they've had getting a good running game going with Kareem Hunt. We outlined all of his futility stats on Thursday. We urged you to take the under, and then once they knew they were going to pass, once the Chiefs were in pass-only mode, wow, the Eagles just were able to just roar at him and find him in the pocket. And Matt Nagy doing none of the things that he could have done that would have helped his quarterback. Mahomes' average time to hold the ball was 3.5 seconds. Well, 3.3 seconds, way too long.
Yeah.
Nagy should have responded with fast, quick-hitting plays, open or not. I mean, just get rid of the ball quickly. He should have had more moving pockets, so that the defense didn't know exactly where Mahomes was going to be. And then, of course, the fact that they got all the pressure they got, never blitzing. It just, what a masterpiece by the Eagles and, the punchless Chiefs with no response whatsoever.
I got to say, that's pretty strong because Paulie, it is still Mahomes. And as Paulie was saying in the first hour, he's asking me the same question. It felt to me like the game should have been way more out of hand, like early, mid-second quarter, right? Like the Eagles were kind of like going to be shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over again. Like, guys, the lead should be bigger than what it is. I don't think I was super comfortable with that feeling until probably 17-0, and then Mahomes throws the second INT, and I'm like, okay, I don't think they can come back from this.
Yeah, and that was I think for most people that's probably when it started to look like and feel like a blowout at that point. Now, if you're Tom Brady, you didn't necessarily acknowledge that on air, and you weren't really talking about how badly Mahomes played, which was too bad. I think that was a missed opportunity for him, but that was, I think for a lot of people, 17-0 is when it started to feel like a blowout. But just this was the game script that the Chiefs could not have, and obviously went down exactly as feared.
I'll ask you this because I would agree. I mean, that was throw it out there and say that it was maybe Mahomes' worst game ever because he was not good. I mean, the passes, the missed passes, the INTs, ugly from him. However, and we're talking to Paul Charchian here on the fantasy. Our fantasy guest throughout the entire year on the Progressive Guest Line. How many quarterbacks in the league do you think would have looked good yesterday?
Not many. I mean, just the pressure was overwhelming. It would have had to be one of the handful of quarterbacks that either could have physically found their way out of some of those sacks and then rumbled downfield and turned a potential sack into a long gain. Had the Bills been here, I think they would have fared much better. Had it been Josh Allen, or you would have had to have a quarterback who can make lightning fast decisions in the pocket and get rid of the ball really, really quickly. And there's just a couple of those. And, Mahomes he was coming off a year that was good, not great, so he wasn't coming in, as playing as well as he had in prior years and entering other Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of that just continued here. And Mahomes had to be otherworldly, not just, he had to be otherworldly, and he can't always be that way.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're bringing you on here to Peacock, but keep in mind next year when you're very strong on something and it goes sideways, we're going to have to bring you back on and say, Charch, what the hell happened there?
And that happens. I'll remind people, I was the guy in the preseason that was like, Saquon Barkley, I don't know, he might be done. All the numbers are going the wrong way. His quarterback's going to steal like 15 of his touchdowns. I was nervous about Saquon Barkley in the preseason and didn't draft him on many teams. And that was my worst call of the year. So if I'm going to Peacock now, I should at least acknowledge that. You know
what? I traded him in a keeper league, dynasty league. Now, this was the last year that any owner could have him in that league. So I was like, I got to see if I can move him right now. But based on what you were just saying, like I kind of agreed, like the guy's injury prone. I'm not fully on board with him just to, spike and have an amazing season and totally dead wrong on that, obviously.
Yeah, and speaking of Saquon, if I had shown you Saquon Barkley's box score only from this game, I just said, I showed you the Barkley box score and said, what's the final score? You might have flipped the scores on this thing. The fact that the Eagles were able to do what they did without Barkley being a significant part of this offense was, it was a testament to Hurts and Smith in this passing game. And that was, credit the Eagles for just being so well-rounded in all parts of their team that their defense could carry it, their passing game could carry it. When the running game wasn't there for like the only time all year, they still won in a blowout. So, credit them for just being such a good all-around team that they were able to overcome that. Really impressive.
Yep, spot on. Dynamite call from you last week. Thanks for popping on today to go over with us one more time, Charch.
Yeah, thanks for a great season, guys. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you in April. Bye-bye.
Yep, sounds good. There you go. Paul Charchian, season-long guest with us here on the Progressive Guest Line.
What a way to close, and they set a record. 55 points in the NFC title game and 40 points last night. And it could have been a lot more.
Yeah, I felt that way. Right away, first quarter, second quarter, like, guys, come on here. Like, what are you doing?
It's too easy. Like, remember the drive to start the third quarter? It was 3rd and 5. He just wide open. Hurts takes off, piece of cake, no problem, right?
Yep.
The stuff to Brown, the stuff to Smith. I mean, it was just too easy.
It was too easy that way, but also it was too easy for them on defense. It was way too easy for them on defense.
Yeah, right.
I mean, every single time that Mahomes was dropping back to pass early in the game, and hanging on, like he said, where are the adjustments? Guys, it's going to be potentially here a long day against that front four. You might want to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker.
Al Lasso said left tackle's a problem. It's a mismatch in most spots with Philly, with their talent, and he just thought the Chiefs were lucky and misleading. And the record, but every break went their way, and how they pulled, the Denver game, the Raider game, the Carolina game.
Sure.
And just thought they were phony. And he was right. The Houston game. Remember, Houston was all over Mahomes in that game,
sure,
too. Anderson was wreaking havoc. So the O-line was a big problem.
Win some, lose some is up next. Paulie will recap the entire game from a betting standpoint. We also have a strong candidate for Bad Beat of the Year. That's next here on VSiN.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, always appreciate the feedback. I'm just one man. So if I miss something, have at it. Send in your favorite prop, and if I miss something, let me know. Quarterback to have negative rushing yards, 50-1. Eagles first half by 18 to 24 points, 55-1. Eagles by 21 plus first half, 40-1. Triple crown, 75, 100-1, depends where you shop. Mahomes, Worthy, Hurts. It was 300-1 if it was Hurts. Worthy, Hurts. Eagles minus 17.5 plus 975. Eagles minus 14.5 alt plus 725. 8 sacks in the game, 13-1. Most rushing yards, Hurts, 14-1. Most rushing, you could have Barkley against the field plus 380. Most receiving yards in the game, Worthy plus 450. First catch by a Chief, Schuster, 13-1. Hopkins anytime touchdown, 6-1. Worthy 100 yards, 6-1. Worthy 2 touchdowns, 11-1. Will a wide receiver have 150 yards, 5-1. Barkley and Kelsey, no touchdown, plus 325. Philly will not convert a fourth down, plus 550. Chris Tucker, listener, viewer, won 4,600. He needed the Worthy touchdown. He had the Eagles to win between 15 to 20 points. DeJean, touchdown, 40-1. Interception, 9-1. Bond, interception, 13-1. Defensive or special teams touchdown, 3-1. Pick 6, 6-1. 2.5 players to attempt to pass, over, plus 170. Hurts first touchdown of the game, plus 575. Smith touchdown and the Eagles win, plus 475. Brown, Smith touchdown, Eagles win, 13-1 here at Circa. Worthy, Brown, Smith score, 20-1. Oh, last points of the game, 2-point conversion, plus 850. Worthy and Smith to score, plus 675. Barkley doesn't score, and the Eagles win, plus 575 at Circa. Damn. My mind, I couldn't get there. 4 unanswered scores, 3-1. Hurts 2 touchdowns.
Oh, by the way, the 3 unanswered is bet by sharp bettors like every Super Bowl.
Right.
And it cashes almost every year.
You're right. I know. Yep. Hurts 2 touchdowns. Eagles win, plus 370. Brown touchdown. Eagles win, plus 370. Brown and Smith, plus 875. Now, depends what the wording on this. Remember? Like Will Hill had, will there be a punt down inside the 5? There was also, will a drive start inside the 5?
Yeah.
That won because of the interception.
That's
yes,
right.
plus 140. 2-point conversion, yes, plus 250. Mahomes 2 picks, 6-1. Will Pickett take a snap? You're damn right, 6-1. Horrendous call to start the game. OPI was 4-1. 40 points scored by a team, 7-1. Elliott 4 field goals, 4 plus, 8-1. Team that scores last wins. No, 2-1.
Did not come in.
15 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah. A.J. Brown, last touchdown first half, 12-1. Eagles score exactly 40 points, 60-1. Exact score of the game, 40-22. No scoregami. I believe 40-12 would have been a scoregami.
That was in play.
Yep. 500-1. Circa squares, 7-0 plus 550.
By the way, do you see the report at FanDuel? They took a lot of bets on the exact score at 40-22.
Was? I thought it was only a couple. Did it say a lot?
They took
50?
took pot, yeah.
Okay. Second quarter square, 18-1. Third quarter square, 45-1. Fourth quarter square, 60, 80-1. Depends where you shop. UFC, we had a draw over the weekend. Crute, Bellato, draw, 80-1. FA Cup, monster upset. Plymouth beat Liverpool. They were 11-1.
Wow, okay.
And Golf Dietrich, easy win. Waste Management, 110-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Like this individual with a dog. One dog's sleeping, and the bulldog is like, he's sitting in the corner, and he's got the curtains over him, and he's laying down like a human with his back against the wall. It must be uncomfortable. That's something I've never seen before.
Yeah, it looks like a human.
Yeah. He's got he's a little shut-eye, but I don't know. Got the curtains on his head. A lot of dogs get the zoomies. Happens from time to time. They get excited. Here's the outside with the bulldog. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Got the couch outside, little rain, little water. He's looking. Am I ready? And here we go. He just goes out. Here we go. Doing the laps now. Yep, nice backyard. Got the couch. I'm just playing, having a good time, and now I come in the house. Excellent. I always love the dogs with the zoomies. Lose some. Butker to make an extra point, minus 2,200. Loser. Team with the better record on a 1-17 ATS run now in the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
$70,000 to win 10 on fourth down conversion in the game. Nope. And that's why Vegas and Nevada, I think, won't book national anthem. What a fiasco that was. I had 201, you had 158, someone else had 159. He does land of the free 3 times, and then at the end they zoom away from him when he's finishing the song to show the Jets, and then you can't hear. It's like, how the hell you got to get an accurate reading?
I saw some offshore books actually graded it to the over. I'm glad I stayed away.
Yep.
I had it.
I know.
I had it under 121. That's what I was told, and that's what a lot of books graded it as, under around a minute 58. But no, thank you. I'm not going to get involved when there's going to be, the fine print's going to be a little too dicey for me.
Yep. Bad for the books. It wasn't bad for the books. It was a huge day for the books. Bad for the players. It was a monster day of numerous books, and a big reason why you were right. Same game parlays, and everyone bet Barkley anytime touchdown. Kelsey anytime touchdown. Mahomes couldn't get there with any of the rushing stuff.
Nope.
Yep. Huge for the books. Bad beats. Dotson first touchdown. 85-1. You had it.
Oh, yeah.
You had it. Wentz to play. What was Andy Reid doing? Get him out of the game.
Yeah.
Why are you calling timeouts? It's 40-14. Come on, Andy. Go eat your cheeseburger and end the season.
Doesn't want to wave the white flag down 100 points. Okay.
I'm glad they booed him, too. 2 minutes left, 40-14. He calls a timeout. Longest touchdown of the game should have been Smith. Worthy late. Here's what Mitch was talking about. We got 2 in college basketball. LSU money line. They led Ole Miss 70-59 Saturday with 3 minutes. They didn't score the rest of the game. Ole Miss scored on every possession to win. 3 turnovers, 2 missed free throws, and Ole Miss scored every time down to win.
Okay.
And Boston College, Chris Massero sent this in.
Okay, this is all time.
Now, Boston College was catching 7 in the third overtime. They led by 7. And then there was a 19-3 run by Syracuse. They lost by 9. Oh, no. You can't top that one.
No. That's taking the cake for the entire year.
Up 7, getting 7. Here comes the big run. Oh, man. Card never declined. Don't leave money on the table. We love Edge Boost. You're already betting. Go ahead and make extra money from it. Put money back in your pocket for doing what you love. If you ever had a deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet, needed to cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but you hit your ATM limit, and those are outrageous fees. No more. Edge Boost has your back. First ever bank account built for bettors. All gambling-related transactions will be approved. No more headaches. For high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card. Unlimited withdrawals. It works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. And every time you deposit to a gambling account, you earn cashback rewards up to 0.5 percentage point. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. It's a bank account, not a credit card, so there's no approval required or credit checks. Go to edgeboost.bet. Edgeboost.bet, code FTM. Start at Tier 2 for faster bank transfers and higher cashback rewards. It's a game changer. Edgeboost.bet. Sign up for Edge Boost today.
What'd you say the karma bet was under the Swifty special? Will the Eagles lead by 21-plus points at halftime?
Something like that.
30-1.
Yeah.
Was Westgate. Here's another one for you, too. They called it.
Yeah. And then there was a 18-24 lead at halftime. Sorry.
Blank space, Worthy. Okay. I remember we talked about this on the air. Worthy to have a 50-plus yard reception.
16?
Yeah, plus 1650.
Ah!
And they got there. You said worst Super Bowl you've ever had?
Yeah, last year was my best. I think I went 15-3 last year. This was no good.
No good?
I only cashed a few tickets. Oh, was it bad? Well, I mean, you're counting on Kansas City stuff, so ball game.
Did you have the no defensive touchdown?
Of course.
Yeah. That must have been a fun one to watch.
Never done that in his playoff career.
How about the two INTs, the passes from him?
I know. Well, the other one, for him to get in the end zone. I mean, running down the sideline, no one can knock him out of bounds.
That's true.
The throw was horrendous. The second one.
The throw. Oh, my God.
Sweat hit the guy, and the offensive lineman ran into him, bumped him. So, Mahomes got hit while he was throwing. The first interception was ridiculous. And then the fumble that should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
But I can't believe they missed that. You get the
how about the
head.
penalty against KC on the 3rd and 26?
I had to see a replay. It was a huge call. I thought
it
hated
was
the call on Goddard, though.
Oh, that was a terrible call.
That led to a touchdown, I believe.
That was a really bad call. I thought the 3rd and 26 was just ticky-tack, man. Yeah.
Well, that's what it would have been. We gave him the first down.
Yep.
I didn't like the call on Goddard, which gave him a first down.
Coming up, we'll discuss Super Bowl futures for next year, plus some player props are already out to talk about super high expectations.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming app.